Hi, Rich Fritzke, The Rich Fritzke Show. Good to be back with you. A while back I shared a piece on sacrifice and then another on courage, and I had planned to do one on peace. And in fact I had the basic construct of a little podcast on peace in mind. But the fact of the matter is that what I had in mind required a monumental alteration due to the circumstances of our day and time, due to what we're living right now, to that which impacts our America and alters and changes our lives for a time. We're in it with most of the other countries in the world. It's something to be in it all together and something to be reminded that we truly are one people, all brothers and sisters, and that all the dividing lines and border lines that separate us are, in the final analysis, bogus. We're one human race, one people, all doing the best we can to enjoy the gift of life that has been given us. But today, fear and isolation have taken hold. We've been made to retreat into our own little corners of the world, and doing so takes some mighty toll. Being denied the toilet paper, the paper goods, and the milk is one thing, but being denied the loss of the now forgotten wonders of simply shaking hands or patting someone on the back or hugging or giving one you love a kiss. Good Lord, how the loss of human touch impacts our hearts and souls. And we pile it on in being denied even the company of our own children and grandchildren, who are one's very life source and sustenance. And we have been. The toll meter explodes, as each and every one of us have tolls of our own that are unique to us to add to this awful mix. Our loving one another has been impeded and challenged, and even our faith. Good Lord, even the houses of worship have been shuttered, at least to a great degree. Mine has. Are you kidding me, we cry. How could it have come to this? And yet it has. Everyone is set back and anxious and often lonely and collectively diminished and worried. And I must admit, as one of the disease's primary targets, I strongly oppose the president's let the grandparents die and let's open it all up again by Easter madness of a plan. But I understand he has relented and now has looked further on down the line. But hold on, you never know what's going to happen tomorrow or what the latest missive from Washington is going to be. Businesses are shuttered, jobs are in jeopardy, and even the bars are closed at a time when we're most certainly in need of one very stiff drink. We're still waiting for the heralded news of a vaccine, but then we're told that's 18 months, a year out at best, so that doesn't help us right now. But treatment protocols, there we have a measure of faith. There we can improve. And we trust that our medical practitioners who are working overtime right now can get that done for us. As to the ignorance, the noise, the dissonance of the batshit crazy out there, pay no attention. And while I truly do not fear, and that I have long lived on borrowed time, I do fall into all those dying boxes. I'm immunosuppressed. I had a kidney transplant. I'm diabetic. I have the chronic diseases. I check off all the boxes, but I have no intention of going anywhere no matter. Thinking about that stiff drink, by the way, and this just hit me. I've had a long-standing relationship with our 16th president, Abraham Lincoln, one of those people I so genuinely admire. And I'm reminded of the thousands of jokes and stories that he told. He was a very complex man. He was an incredible humorist. He could have been the greatest comedian of his time, but he chose another path, and That path, I trust, is at least to some degree well known to you. But I am reminded of one of his stories. And it was about a man who enjoyed far, far too many drinks, far too often, and had finally abided by his family's long-standing hopes and prayers and demands that he take the total abstinence pledge, which he did. But soon thereafter, a friend comes by and he offers him some fine Kentucky whiskey. He tells him, "I'd sure like to, but I've taken the total abstinence pledge." To which the friend quietly and softly replies, "Well, what if I just slip some into this here lemonade?" "So long as it is unbeknownst to me," our total abstainer replied. I just love Lincoln and enjoy sharing ideas and thoughts of his that just might be of interest, but we'll get to that another day, another time. Today we're after peace, and I am reminded of the old heralded cry, "Peace, peace, peace," but there is no peace. The age-old conundrum. But I disagree. I have always disagreed. I even disagree now. Even in the midst of this trial, this storm, this darkness, peace remains within us all. Of course, the barriers to it are notable. They're everywhere surrounding us. And yes, you're caught in a vortex where your days begin today with alarm bells that bellow out, "Let the damn stress begin." And yet peace, however elusive it may seem to be, is still within your ready grasp. Even now, isolated, alone, scared, peace abides. Just close your eyes, breathe deep, and consider these simple truths that warrant and ultimately even demand peace. First of all, you can socially distance and still embrace the natural world, where peace abides always. A forest of trees, a landscape, a rising or setting sun, a breaking wave, a starry, starry night, or a safe hike at a place like the Delaware Water Gap, or stolen moments by the side of a running brook, or by the still waters of a pristine lake, or on an isolated beach where the surf might be roaring just for you. Secondly, even though you are apart or separated by the years or the decades or by the demands of today, think for a moment of all the people in your life, all of them, near and far, all who have touched you, claimed you, loved you, all of them, however long or however fleeting, family, friends, the loved and lost, that coach, that teacher, that stranger who got to you, all of them across all of the years, the epics or the events that have made you. Be mindful of all the love, of the smiles. COVID-19 isolation be damned for a moment. You are not now, nor have you ever been alone. Close your eyes, see them, remember them, celebrate them, give thanks for them. And then consider faith. Go to prayer, to the soul, to the spirit, to mindfulness, to love. And if faith is not in the equation for you, go to the music you love, the poets, the stories, the hearts and minds of authors and the makers of movies and characters in them who have inspired and moved you. Go to the inspirers who have touched your soul. Go to the goodness and grace that once upon a time, and maybe even today, makes a damn difference. Next, get out of yourself. We all need to get out of ourselves. Offer a prayer or a hope for those who have it worse than you. It is in the giving, in the serving, In the sacrificing only, where perfected peace is found. So if a call goes out for volunteers and you're in a position to, or if there's an avenue of service that presents itself to you, separate and apart from the normal, consider it. It is in the giving, after all, where we receive, and it is in the doing where peace rains down upon us. Peace is in the other. Peace is getting out of you. And next, take a few moments to consider what I refer to as the magic in the moonlight. To our best knowledge, the universe in which we live is an incomprehensible 93 billion light years in diameter. And yet it just keeps expanding insofar as we garner the capacity to probe just a little bit further, just a little bit further. There appear to be no ends whatsoever. Billions of years in the making, our Earth indeed one hell of a long 7 days, or just a blip on the radar screen. Yes, billions of years, a biblical 7 days, just a blip on the radar screen. The closest stars are multitudes of forevers away, and yet we can all reach right out and touch them by night. You can still do that. That's the magic in the moonlight. That's starlight, star bright. That's 1,000 stars in the sky. Make me realize that you are the one love that I adore. That's the magic in the moonlight. I apologize for that, by the way. I ought to know better. After all, I was unsummarily kicked out of the choir while singing We Three Kings of Orient Are while practicing for the Christmas pageant in 4th grade. An old nun identified the offending sound, which just happened to be me, purposefully and meanly stretched out her bony finger towards me and yelled, and I mean yelled, "You out!" She left no doubt. How dynamic and extraordinary is our precious home of cosmic dust. I expect that you might know that the earth was fashioned by an ancient storm and a massive and purportedly accidental collision that separated moon rock from earth rock, as our planet Earth spun off into its blessed gravitational pull in an orbit with a magical tilt and a perfect oxygenation level. A tilt where, were it the slightest degree to the left or to the right, would have resulted in 6 months of frozen tundra and 6 months of fire and flame. But we didn't get that. Instead, we got the extraordinary gift of the 4 seasons and no end to spectacular natural wonders and life. Yes, life. Inexplicable, marvelous life. So as we're being pressed and contained today, it helps to remember that life is a marvel. It's just science for some, it's just a big bang for others, but I go with the wonder and mystery and improbability of our being in the first place. I go with a perfect God who gave us a perfect universe. The wonder is that life is miraculous. You live. You and yours and mine are. And oh, the peace to be found in the very wonder of your being, in what is the most inexplicable of all possible gifts. Life is gift, peace. And so all the more to be protected. And so the miasma of our social distancing, our loss of work, our worry, our fear. Yes, certainly. But however long, there is the blessing of this too shall pass away. And we trust that however stupid Washington can be from time to time, we will, neighbor to neighbor, muddle our way through together. Mother Teresa said peace is a smile. Try it, it works. This strange and brave new world of ours and its unique path to peace is rooted in the all of this stuff. But my old friend Thomas Merton, he always insisted on taking us higher. And so this is what he said peace was. He wrote, "Peace demands the most heroic labor and the most difficult sacrifice." Wow, if that doesn't sound like the great challenge of the moment, the great challenge of today. He said, peace requires great heroism. Damn if that isn't what we are called to. It is a time for heroes and heroism, and in that, in realizing and relying upon the hero in you, peace. Yeah, we are called to be the impossible. We are called to put both worry and fear aside, even when the time seems to call for the opposite, to humble ourselves, and to do all we can to serve and lift each other up, to go down the narrow road that leads to peace. In the bleeding out of your soul there is peace. No cause too small, no love too great. Peace cometh from within, truly it does. Peace lies within the madness of today, notwithstanding. Courage, peace, stay strong, follow the rules, be the best for you and yours. Be the best for you and yours. I'll be back with you down the road. Take care, take care, take care.